I come to the third stanza. No, the root is to be pulled out. It is this that the root, the most hidden, the most sensitive part of the tree, that is root. You know that root spreads itself inside the earthscape. It is the anchoring earth that shelters the tree, and the tree gets its strength from the roots. The roots keep the soil tight, and from there it gets the strength. And we see that simple storm cannot uproot the tree if the root is deeply rooted. The roots are deeply rooted into the earth. So that is why man applies the most cruel method. The root is to be pulled out. The root, that is the lifeline of the tree, is to be pulled out from the earthscape, out of the anchoring earth. Anchoring, that is means sheltering. Where the tree has anchored itself, the earth from that earthscape, the root is to be pulled out. It is to be roped, tied, pulled out, snapped out, or pulled out entirely out of the earthscape. What is the process of pulling out the root of the tree? It is also not so simple. It is to be roped, to be tied, to be pulled out, or snapped out, torn up, or pulled out entirely out of the earthscape. Earthscape means the pores in the earth underground, where the root spread itself. From the earthscape, the root is to be pulled out, and then the strength of the tree is exposed. The strength of the tree exposed means that the resistance of the tree fails. The tree has nothing to do then. Till now, when we applied hacking and chopping or gave the blow of nine, the tree withstood all those blows, trauma, pain, etc. But when the most sensitive part, the lifeline of the tree, is uprooted or pulled out entirely or snapped out, the tree surrenders to death. Its all resistance collapses. All resistance collapses, breaks down, the tree is uprooted, the tree dies there. Only the root, the lifeline, because the root is called the source, the white, the weight, and the most sensitive hidden for years inside the earth. The root, as you know, after germination of seed, the root extends itself underground. It spreads itself underground. That is why it is hidden from sunlight. That is why it is white in color. As it is in contact with underground water, it is wet. You also know that the root collects the water from the ground and sends it up to like leaves for preparing food. The sap, which you call the sap. That is why the root is wet. It is white as it is hidden inside the earth, away from sunlight. It is white. As it is in contact with underground water, it is wet. Thirdly, it is hidden inside the earthscape. That is the most sensitive part of the tree. It is the lifeline of the tree. That is why it is the most hidden and the most sensitive part. And it has remained so for years. That is why the tree is called the lifeline of the tree. The root is called the lifeline of the tree. Hence, when the root is pulled out entirely, the tree surrenders to death. The tree cannot sustain life. All the resistance, all the power, all the stamina of the tree, all the healing power of the tree, all fail. Everything fails, and the tree surrenders to death, succumbs to death. And that is why the lifeline is to be pulled out or snapped out entirely from the earthscape. And then remains the matter. Then what is the matter? The matter may refers to the job of finalizing the killing. The root is pulled out, the tree dies. But even man's work, man's ceremonial job does not end. As it is a deliberate work, it is a ceremonial job. We have seen that man has applied step-by-step processes to kill a tree. And when the tree is uprooted and killed finally, then comes the matter of profit, matter of utility. That is the utilitarian attitude to nature. Man tries to use the wood or timber for his own purpose. Then the matter, then the task. What is the task? Of scorching and choking. Scorching and burning in the sun, choking when drying or withering in sun and air. As you know, the wood is kept in sun and air for withering, for choking, for drying, for hardening, and for scorching. So the processes are browning, hardening, twisting, withering. All these processes, browning means tanning, that is the color of the wood changes. Hardening, that the wood becomes harder. Twisting, it becomes more concrete. It is twisted, and withered means it is dried. The wood is dried, it is scorched in sun and air, so that the wood becomes suitable for our use. And then it is done. Then the poet says that finally the work of killing a tree is complete. As it is a ceremonial job, finally we get the satisfaction that we have done something. We have done something. We have completed the task. That is the satisfaction. That is why the job of killing a tree is a ceremonial job. It is a deliberate work because we have not ended up killing a tree at the third stanza. We have continued it to the fourth stanza, where the wood is made ready for our use. That is why it is our utility. It is our profit and loss account. That is why we can use it for our own purpose. The wood, we can use the wood of the timber for our own purpose. And so, it is a deliberate work of man. Man has not wantonly killed the tree. It is not a wanton game. It is a deliberate work. That is why the wood or timber is to be used for man's own benefit or purposes. The last line of the poem ends in a very ironic tone. It is man's deliberate, selfish work, and man hardly knows that with this act he is inviting his own doom. We are destroying nature, we are demolishing nature, but we cannot live without nature. Man should realize this, and that is the greatest irony, that we ourselves will be responsible for our own destruction if we do not change our attitude to nature, attitude to the trees. The trees are not inanimate objects, they are living entities. And that is why Patel tries to give us a shock through this poem. And if with this shock we are roused, we will plant more trees, we will make the earth green and greener and live a more purer and better environment for the future generation. That is Patel's hope, and that is Patel's message, that we must realize our own misdeed. And the sooner it is done, the sooner the better. That is why Patel's On Killing a Tree is not a simple poem about the killing of a tree. It is a murder. It is a deliberate work. It is a ceremonial work by man. And man must realize his own mistake. And if not, we ourselves will be responsible for our own doom one day.